Hey guys, the Wild Ninja here, and we just got some interesting news just from Ninjago Dragons Rising entirely. So this news came out yesterday, and it was just about a whole heap of drama of leaked content that is supposed to be out. And it was just brand new information that is supposed to tease the future of Ninjago Dragons Rising. Some of it is scrapped concept of the show. Some of it could possibly come true. So today's video is just going to be an oversight of all this new information. Majority of it is to do with season 4. Majority of it is also to do with the whole series. And there's a bits and pieces that's in there that is just sort of scrap stuff at this point. And some of it's also like downplaying on what they had done for season 3 and why they had to do it. So let's get into this. This will hopefully not be as big of a video than it should be. The reason I say that is I'm hoping this video is at least long enough to get the idea out there so then we can discuss this in smaller videos, because to be honest with you, I have been struggling to find content to talk about, and I don't want to spam videos of just boring 5 minutes. Oh, this is coming soon, let's get hyped up or excited. The Fortnite thing is apparently happening next week. I'm looking forward to that if that is actually happening, so I'm holding out for that. So let's discuss this news. So firstly, apparently since Dragons Rising had come back out in 2022 or was getting produced, all this was actually leaked online. I'm very confused why we're now finding out about it 3 years later, but okay. Lord Raz will have a redemption arc, which is something we'll get back to later on. There will also be a big Source Dragon twist in season 4. We'll also get back into that a bit later on. And Wildfire's story ends with becoming a dragon matriarch. Why am I finding this quite interesting? Because it is. Wildfire's storyline, in my opinion, she is very much sidelined, but for good reason, because that's what her character needs to be. She's not sidelined for wrong reasons, but it's also not for the right reasons either, but her character is so good. I believe putting her into this matriarch position makes sense for her character and would make sense as a human that's been living under dragons her whole life and an elemental master as well. It wouldn't make sense. I think giving her the matriarch title would be a cool character growth, seeing this character grow into something more than she can be. And it would be great for her to do that instead of maybe being a ninja, because she knows that she can be a great dragon. Even Egot said that in his last breaths, saying that she'd make a great leader someday. Maybe not a leader of a ninja team, but maybe a matriarch. That's really cool. I'm going to discuss that in a separate video because I love Wildfire's character. Yeah, she only has one figure, but I love her character, so I will discuss this in a separate video. Back with the Raz redemption arc, it might be scrapped at this point, which is quite interesting. To be honest with you, I spoke about this in a video a couple months ago or last month, that I wouldn't really be interested to see Raz going in that direction, especially if in the case of what Doc White has really pushed out. Raz is a villain that, in my honest opinion, could give 2 Fs. If he made one of the ninja like Jay shatter his soul, he doesn't care what happens to him next. It's a proven point. I think a redemption arc would have been a bit too much unless they were planning to go a different route with Raz's character. If Raz's master betrayed him, I think that would honestly be just a shit thing. And in my opinion, I rather see it be a pie for a Kalmar thing where he just gets eaten or devoured, just killed off by his master, to maybe even if his master is a living talking being, which is not like the Great Devourer or anything, just get killed by his master, showing off how unlikable or how devouring Raz's master is. I can see that happening, but I don't know. Redemption arc, Raz doesn't need one. I think villainy through and through. I don't think his character has proven time again. His heart and soul's on his mission, nothing else. Alright, apparently season 4 Part 1 episode titles will be coming soon, and amount of voice lines for each character is coming soon as well, so stay tuned for that information. That will obviously be coming soon. Maybe the latest that we can see this is mid-December, end of December, early January. Whatever coming soon means to you guys, it usually means a month or 2 away. This is where a couple more of these get a bit more interesting. Apparently, the original plan was for Master Wu to be Roz's master. Apparently, that was the original plan. Obviously, not, because we see Wu is trapped in a box thanks to Roz, so obviously not. Scrap Chima characters were supposed to make cameos in the Crossroads. Obviously, that never happened. Cutscenes of the Forbidden Five, conquering more realms, replaced with Thunderfang. Makes sense. In my honest opinion, we'll get more into a bit later, but I think the Forbidden Five are just garbage. Hands of Time content cut, Dragon's Rising would have revealed what happened after Golden Hour. So if you don't know what happened in Golden Hour is short, this is another thing I really do want to discuss, and I had this at the back of my mind for the last couple of weeks as well. At the end of that short, it just got frozen in time and space. Obviously, they were going 40 years into the future, in my opinion. If they were going throughout time and they stopped, maybe the destination 20 years in the future could have landmarked them, or a couple years into the future, so they would, like an asteroid, just pull it down in time. What could possibly happen? Now, it's obviously interesting to also note here that this was something that was cut. The reason being is confusing. Why it would even come up in consideration, but we know the Hands of Time are coming in a set, so could they turn this into a legacy short? So I was thinking about this a couple of weeks ago, is my point. What are they going to do for legacy? Every time they have had a legacy sort of thing, when the legacy sets came out, they promoted them in a short form. Then they had, for the 10th anniversary, the shorts that had come out for legacy. But could they do something like this for Hands of Time? Hell yeah. They haven't done this. They've done this before, and what greater way would there be to explain what happened after the Golden Hour? I think this would be absolutely amazing, and it would be kudos to the writers. This would be something that they don't have to just promote with sets. Well, they have a set with the Hands of Time, but they can just show it off a little better. No offense to LEGO if they don't do it next year. It'd be a really missed opportunity, but that I'll talk about in another separate video. Jumping into some more information, Kai, Nia, and Jay face the least villains in Season 4, but Kai and Jay have a good dynamic. Makes sense because we have seen that in Season 3, Part 2, and makes sense. I think the whole purpose of Season 4 with Nia and Kai, I think, is a good thing to sort of step away from fighting. It's a great way to see this relationship grow. Get Kai, especially Kai, out of All Ninja to help Jay remember stuff. And then in Part 2, just slam bang, everyone's together, and Jay's like, yeah, this does feel right, Kai. I've done this with you before. And the guy's like, yeah, you have done the Devil's Tango with my sister before, you know. Come on, let's go. And then they're in the huge thing, and then Jay gets a wave of electricity flow through him, through the wind, and he's like, hey, I'm remembering everything. Lightning! True potential shit. I think that would be absolutely cool, just as a Season 4 arc. But apparently that's throughout whole Season 4, so they could be all split up in Season 4, so whatever. Returning characters, we do know that Erico, Rapton, Euphrasia, Labo, Creel, and Runtu will all return, especially with the Finders. Obviously, this was a shit show thing, because Euphrasia gets set. Labo and Creel were last seen at the monastery. Ericor would be probably seeing where the hell Sora, Frack, and Wildfire, and Ryu. Runtu and all the Finders are pretty much... It doesn't say anything about Aaron's parents, which I find very interesting. Zane will resemble his... Or does it say... doesn't say Mr. Froicky either, so I wonder where Mr. Froicky is. Zane will resemble his old self more in Season 4, personality-wise. I don't know what this really means. Will he stop acting like more of an android and act more humanic and caring and more of a fighter than what he's been in previous years? I hope so, because I'm kind of sick of the Zane that's like constantly... How do I say it? Cringe. I like Zane in Season 3 Part 1 a lot. He seems himself. There needs to be more Zane to see it. There's less show. There's more people talking about Zane than showing that Zane's a character. That's my opinion. I think they just keep using him as just bait. Kill him off. do this to him, do that to him, murder him, do whatever. He's an android. No one cares. There needs to be more humanity in him. Maybe that's a video I could do in the future. So Lord of Rise will barely have any screen time or be in any of Season 4 Part 1, which makes sense. But he will have scenes. Obviously, his last scene in Part 1 will set up his arc in Part 2. So that's cool. Source Dragon's Season 4 twist revealed and related to the cycles. Quite interesting. The cycles are obviously like the different universes that have obviously happened before, which is quite interesting. Thunderfang was added because of writers. The writers could not find a way to make V5 lose otherwise. I find that interesting because there's plenty of ways that they could have lost, especially how they were really powered down, the Forbidden Five, without their powers. But I guess we can talk about that in another video. I've always known that Thunderfang was just a throw-in by LEGO, not the writers themselves. But at the same time, they worked it in so organically that it doesn't feel like it was really added. It feels like it was always there. But yeah, this finishes off all the leaked sort of stuff, I guess. So let's final thoughts. So this is the brand new information that has just come out. I am quite interested to see, obviously, what is next for Ninjago Dragons Rising. And Season 4 Part 1 and Part 2 next year. So there will obviously be more videos talking and discussing this new information as well. But in the comments down below, please let me know your thoughts. Thank you guys for watching today's video. Peace out, guys.